So I often come down to this where I am now. In the background is the lake. We're just off like Beckenried in this direction. Put my finger in so you can see it. And I come down here and I wanted to make a video. And it's been on my mind to make a video. This one obviously is called Over 50 and Flying. Situations like this is the reason why I'm over 50 and I'm flying. I'm having just a great time with the icing on the cake of doing these videos for YouTube. So I'm considered now really myself to be a YouTuber. I'm getting close to 20 videos. I'm very happy with the progress. But anyway, I just came down here and spontaneous things happened, sort of synchronicity. There's just a storm coming in, but I didn't actually check it. So I didn't check it before I came down here because I had a few things today. So I was really going around doing those things thinking I'll pop one of these off because this one's going to be a video for me that is straight, you know, pretty much without too much editing in it. And I'm going to put it up tonight. It's not easy to do these types of videos, but the last one that I did on the channel about the iconic Mount Titlis, you can go back, have a look yourself. That was quite a lot of editing, quite a lot of work. Sometimes it's keeping you up till really late and you didn't expect it on the editing side. And this one I wanted to, you know, throw down. Basically, I think it's a really important subject, and it was about me being over 50 and flying, but sometimes completely exhausted. Now the situation changes a little bit because down here in the background, this is why I backed up the car to the lake, because if I feel, let me just look around, not looking at any notes, not guilty, unlike usual. So the background here is, you know, I might change this, I might bring this camera out and let you have a look. Storms. I had like the last couple of days a few storms in my head, which is the exhausting and you know, what I said in the title part. And over 50s is sometimes really taxing because you're thinking like other people, like, don't they know, you start to think you're old, like, don't they know that I'm old? But they don't see you as old because you don't look old, you don't act old, you do a lot of things and you keep yourself young. But sometimes it all comes to a little bit of a head, and there's no way you can fake it about like when you're flying over 50 in your life. I mean, not flying physically in any kind of like aeroplane. You know, when you're flying, you've got things around you that are not necessarily a big part of playing any kind of negative or have any big onus on your life, but they are big factors. One of the things that makes, you know, over 50 feel like I'm flying, because obviously I can go back a number of decades and see how difficult in the past it was to do a lot of things. For example, travel, you have to exchange your money, you have to go to maybe to the money exchange. You have to also make sure that, you know, you're booking, you make sure that the agent is, you know, verifiable and good. And, you know, you have also now you just do things via app. You go to booking.com or you go to, you know, your flight trackers, and you book everything at the good reasonable price, and you do basically what a travel agent would do. As far as other aspects about banking, sending people money, we have Twint in Switzerland. It's all become very, very easy now, and that means that, you know, when you get to over 50 and you've got a few hobbies that you actually want to make into professional career, as you leave your job behind if you can. I work 4 days a week. I can't necessarily leave I don't want to necessarily leave my job behind because it's secure and stable, pays the bills for a family, you know. But on the other side, if I cut down on that work, which I've done, and I've said in a few videos here now, what ratio of work I do, self-employment, some obviously freelance photography, I'm doing copywriting and working as an advertising agent, and I'm mainly running travel agent. I'm doing all these aspects without trying to boast. Meanwhile, we're having a 4-day-a-week job. And that's the way I planned it. And I'm not necessarily saying that it's the best way. You do have to flit around quite a lot. But the ease of technology and, booking things and everything, whether it's car rentals, even for the business, is so much easier than it used to be. And that's my first point. And so number one point about flying over 50. I'm over 50 and I'm flying. I'm really enjoying it. Is because everything these days with technology is very much easier. Number two is basically the speed of learning. You can, again, going back to the technology and the app, you can use apps these days to learn, whether it's new languages or you're learning something about business. And I'll give you a proper example of this. So for many years now, I've collaborated and worked with agencies, and we've had, I'm going to put this forward a little bit. We've collaborated with many agencies and running an advertising agency, and on the side of it, starting to use AI for basically, I use it, I don't believe completely in it, but I use it for like support, for spelling, for grammar checks, in copywriting, for proofreading, and how easy that's become. The speed of learning, so I'll give you an example. Going back years, I have an advertising agency and marketing and going into the office, having meetings, working out what the covers of let's say, for example, a new watch, what colors we're going to use to advertise, what mediums, all these other things. And with the speed of, and now where it's impossible to do anything without the social media side. So I've put this channel up. One of the reasons is I can go to clients and say, I have my own channel, check it out, and I can then go through all the processes and work with an individual or a company. Sometimes I'm working, closely with musicians, which is my field. And go in with them and do the website and make everything for them, make a YouTube channel, connect it to Instagram and all these kind of things. And I was a bit rusty. I took as I said, 100% job, like a full-time job over the last 3 years, and couldn't do anything else because you're working high up in the mountain. Oh, we got a flash here of lightning. I work up high up in the mountains. So I got a bit rusty, or I didn't have time to sort of like, professionally look into the social media and know exactly what's going on. Now I do. And I did this now, especially as I said, that I can go to any company and say, okay, we'll create a YouTube channel. You can do the shorts thing, especially, which is good for advertising. And this is why in my field, I'm flying at 50. I can also suggest that if you are over 50, not flying at 50, flying at over 50, I'm well above 50 years old. So you can adapt also, whatever you're doing, you can adapt these days and entertain people if you're looking on that YouTube side or the media side, expand into new areas. You can harness all the new things that are happening by the connectivity of probably the internet and a number of other things, whatever your vocational like sort of mode is, whether it's a financial and it's opening up new worlds. And over 50 and flying is how I describe, what's going on in my life. The other thing about being over 50 and being able to really get the best out of, especially doing what you really want to do, would be that the children are older. And in some ways, I see many people online in their work involving their children in their business. Obviously, if they're under 16, you don't want to be doing that because children should be children. But over 16, the learning process is doesn't have just to be schooling, university, etc. Can be also what you're doing and involving them. To an extent, I've done that, but it's a different kind of story. And it's really something I would probably want to explain in a whole video, and I'm not, like having enough time now, because this video is supposed to be hopefully under, I don't know, a short video anyway compared to most. I don't need to socialize is number 4. I don't need to socialize. I really don't. So when I'm at work, if I'm doing these strands of work and different events and meeting people, that is socializing. We often eat together with the travel documentaries I make and promotion of travel companies. We're always eating together, and therefore, I mean, once in a while, if somebody asks me, I might want to go out, but not generally go out of my way to go to any pub or bar or anything else. Obviously, a restaurant is more appealing, and I'm not so much needing to socialize. However, how much money do you save by that as well? And that money can be put into new equipment or saving. My big thing more is to save the money and use the equipment I've already got. So plenty of memories, but hard to remember everything unless staying healthy. You need to stay healthy. And then, if your brain's pretty healthy from obviously what you're eating and you're getting enough sleep and everything, you can track back. And I dream off on memories of like cassette tapes the other day, or I mean, there's so much that we can, if you're over 50, if you're older, you can go back and all the things, the smells of things and different things at the time. And younger people, you don't realize that they don't know this side of thing. Vinyl, cassettes, going back with cathode ray tubes, watching some of the football matches, the World Cups, like the World Cup's on now. Fantastic. The heat wave of 76. Are we getting a similar kind of thing now? I'm still waiting for this weather, by the way. We're having a heat wave this week. This is in Switzerland Central, over 32, 35. And it's lovely, isn't it? But this storm's just come in now, so I love it when that happens. It changes the whole perspective, but apparently just for one evening. So, these memories going back, you actually were there in the 60s and 70s. So it's a retro kind of life that you choose. You can do that, how you go out, what you can watch a movie that you used to watch when you were in the 70s, watch it again, and bring back all those memories. And recently I met somebody I haven't seen for like over 30 years, and it takes me back to when I was living in London and all the things we got up to and all the things I forgot that she told me about. And I just thought to myself, yeah, if I'm like really not living a very healthy life, not getting enough sleep, maybe drinking too much or whatever, I wouldn't be able to be so sensitized to the past. And that's something that I'm enjoying at the moment. I'm enjoying remembering things as much as I can. I must admit, I hit a blank on a lot of things. I think I moved forward too fast and maybe moved in too many cities. But I enhance all of that by going to bed early. I wasn't a big drinker in the past, so I mean, it's not a huge problem. Eating the right things, making sure that the family's okay, we're secure and have good mental health, work hard, help your teammates out. And it's just over 50 and flying. I mean, I have to admit that family arguments, these kind of fester, and when you're getting older, they're not easy to deal with if it's situations. In my case, there are some family problems and the parents getting older and they won't have the care that I don't live in UK, by the way. I'm from the UK. I don't live in the UK and therefore unable to help so much. And these kind of things are exhausting. When people are arguing over small things, things that for me I wouldn't dream of arguing about, being stuck in the middle of something, or having to in the end do something, take action if you're not happy with a situation. Not that you caused it, but you still have to take action to solve the problem. And these things are quite exhausting. Countering them, as I said, with living the healthiest life possible, going wild sometimes, is always the best way. That you don't want to walk away from any trouble that anybody you love has, and you want to try to help them, but at the expense that you could get fairly exhausted, or working in a certain way that people are not understanding you with your experience. You're working very hard. Over 50s people will feel this exhaustion when they're trying to do something, maybe an ambitious thing that they want to do, and they just can't complete it because it's not understood by other members of the team, or something like that, or people that didn't really learn as they went along, or still quite young. This requires a lot of energy, and one has to be fairly careful. But I myself, I'm over 50 and I'm flying. I have much pleasure out of my life, sometimes exhausting, and I hope this video has been offered to you with some kind of way of breaking through and finding happiness and keeping busy, because keeping busy for me and doing things, there are many things that you can do, and keeping busy when you're over 50 and reducing the kind of normal work and doing what you've always wanted to do is the key to life. But staying healthy, obviously. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's a Parkstone Productions production, and I hope you can please like and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you very soon again. Thank you.